Welcome to Shop Talk, where you get my honest opinion on current events, life, and sports. Let's get into it. The Knicks in five. They pulled it off. To me, that was one of the best series I've seen in a while. As far as the way it kept going back and forth, far as I think it was game one where they was up 15 or something like that, with 7 minutes left in the game, and they came back. To me, the Spurs lost this series in game one, and I think it was game four. Yeah, I think it was game four. Game one and game four lost the series for them anyway. And so it was a great series to watch. 53 years. Took them another 53 years. They finally got it done. I know there's been some chatter about Jalen Brunson on the action. Where does he rank all time for as the Knicks? I mean, you got to put the man at the top right there where Patrick Ewing at. I would say that. He did something them guys didn't even get to do themselves. I mean, Patrick Ewing did make it to the finals. The last time they went was in '99, I think. I think he was dealing with an injury at that time, if I'm not mistaken. But they ran into a young phenom in Tim Duncan, who wasn't going to be denied, and so he went on to win 5 championships himself. So where you want to rank Jalen Brunson is solely up to you. I would have him right there with Patrick Ewing. I don't know if you want to do one or two, but what he did, you know, a lot of teams saying you can't win a championship with a small guard, and stuff like that. But if you got the right kind of pieces around him, yes, you can. And he was Captain Clutch the whole series. He was Captain Clutch. When they needed buckets down the stretch, they gave him the ball and got out the way. That's what you want with your best player. The guy who get the big bucks, that's what you want. I remember the year the Cavaliers won the championship against the Warriors. Certain points of the game, they go on one side of the floor, and they let Kyrie go on the other side. And they get a ball to Kyrie, and they let him take him home. And Kyrie clown. So that year they won the championship was memorable. So, I mean, the Knicks, they were resilient. I mean, we all doubted the Knicks. And so, after game one, I was like, yo, these guys are like, they for real. And even in the game when they came down from 30, it was like, yeah, when you once you come down from 30 on a team, you kind of take the fight out of them for the next game. Because it's like, okay, you was up by 30 and you still lost. And so I love to see it. Small guards, I'm glad, because, you got the guys like Allen Iverson and people like that who got there and, didn't get there. I mean, get the win because, you playing against a dominant center and Shaq. And so at that time, it was hard to beat the Lakers, but he actually done his thing. He wound up getting a finals MVP and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm not shocked. I think if he didn't have the 45-point game, it was going to go to OG Anunoby. And so that 45-point game in the closing game kind of put him over the top. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't care how they got it as long as they won. And Cash silenced a lot of haters. You don't never know. You put a guy on the right team, and you put him in the right position. He actually outplayed Wemby in this series, and so Wemby got exposed, like I said a few weeks ago. He has too many holes in his game. I said it. And I think I seen Shaq say it the other day. He gotta get some muscle. In order for a guy to be on the block, he gonna have to have some muscle and stuff like that. So Wemby, you should be getting with Tim Duncan. Yeah, that's the guy to go look for. I know it's been a long season. Guys gonna take some time off and get back to it. But if I'm Wemby, the only big man I'll begin with is like a Kevin Garnett, Hakeem Olajuwon, a Tim Duncan, guys of that nature, and go from there. Now, for his face-up game, I would get with Carmelo Anthony because he doesn't have a face-up game. Well, he get the ball to a certain spot on the court, especially on the block, and that jab step that Carmelo had. I mean, it was second to none. And so if you're talking about a face-up game, I would have him get with Carmelo Anthony. I think by him having a 7'4" frame, he already plays decent enough on the defensive end. So you add that to his game and some muscle, maybe they'll be back. But De'Aaron Fox, I saw Cam say this morning, he was the best player for the Knicks, and he played for the Spurs. So Dylan Harper is the future. I mean, you have to be a fool to not know that once you get a guy at number 2 in the draft, the writing on the wall for a veteran. De'Aaron Fox didn't play well at all the last 2 series. They say he's been dealing with an injury and all that, but I mean, man, once you out there on the floor and you giving it your all, people gonna judge you off you being on the floor. So you damage, you do damage, you don't, but he's not the same as he was in Sacramento. Him and the Sacramento Kings, they done Mike Brown dirty. So Mike Brown redeemed himself. You got out of Sacramento. You didn't like his coaching style and stuff like that. And so y'all got the man fired. I think it was 2 days after Christmas or something. So, that karma always come back around. And, man, he did not play. You was 3 for 15, turning the ball over and all this. The thing about it, he better look out. He might turn into a journeyman these next years because I think he got a heavy front end contract. So he better look out. He might turn into a journeyman because I know a lot of teams ain't gonna want to pay that. I think he getting about $60 million. So a lot of teams probably be like, yo, I'll rent him for a year. And, we see from there, but, I mean, he probably gonna be at a crossroads. I mean, he gonna get paid. But I doubt if we see him in a Spurs uniform again. It's highly unlikely because Dylan Harper is a star. I mean, you can't have that guy. I mean, he's going to be the starter. You have him, Castle. I don't know what they're going to do with them other guys. Maybe they're going to try to shore up the bench. But Miss Johnson, why y'all up by 30, why y'all just didn't slow the game down, kind of eat up the shot clock, get the best possible shot? Y'all just was chucking up threes. And so you live by it, you die by it. So guys got to be mindful. You look at that series right there and say the adjustment was made by the Knicks, whereas the Spurs, you lost the series in game 1 and game 4 because you couldn't handle big leads. Even in game 5, y'all was up 16 in the first quarter. And then I look again before halftime, they had to close the lead. They went on a 22-11 run to close the lead. So it was 42-37 at half. So I'm like, oh, they got them right, but they want them. It's just y'all couldn't handle big leads. And Wemby, you fall in love with the three. You hit a three, and so you think, okay, they're going to always fall when I shoot them, and not realizing, like, man, you got to slow the game down, slow the tempo down, That's why a guy made a point the other day, which I was saying, that the NBA teams need to get back to bringing veteran guys back. Like the Miami Heat used to do, Udonis Haslem. You have a guy like that keeps the younger guys in check. You ask guys like D-Wade and LeBron and all them, they'll tell you, everybody respects Udonis. He put in the work, and he don't mind being the other voice that's on the bench. So I think teams need to go back to doing it. I think Pat Riley did a good job with that, Yeah, he was past his years playing for his playing time, but Udonis Haslem was a big old help for the Miami Heat. So you got people saying, Big U might get a statue outside the arena. because he was a real pivotal part in them winning those championships. Even after D Wade left, and you still had Jimmy Butler and them, they still were formidable. They wind up going to the championship in the bubble, and so then they wind up going to championship again against the Nuggets. So teams need to look into that and start paying these guys the veteran minimum and go from there. But congratulations to the New York Knicks. No, I'm not a bandwagon person or nothing like that. I just got my John Starks today, representing, and man, thank you for seeing. I like to see stories like that because I remember when the Saints made their run that year and won the Super Bowl. People was teasing Saints fans and stuff like that. I got so many arguments at the shipyard at the time behind my Saints. And so when I saw that kind of brought back the nostalgia from like, okay, this giving me that feeling when the Saints won a Super Bowl when nobody believed and stuff like that. So I was happy to see it. The whole city of New York was happy. I mean, look at what the mayor doing. I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job, you know. So he can't do it all by himself, but he's doing a phenomenal job. You hear a lot of people saying that the atmosphere is good in New York right now. I know people were saying a lot of billionaires say they was leaving. They never left, you know. So that's the thing. This debacle that was going on yesterday at the White House or whatever. Politics is basically a circus now. It's all about who was the attention whore. That's basically what it's come down to. I think I saw somewhere that they reached some kind of tentative deal on the war coming to an end. We'll see, because I think they said they're supposed to agree to everything by this Friday. But Israel has so much blackmail on politicians that they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And so he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because they have so much information on him that they're using against him. The moment he don't listen to them, the whole Washington for its politics is basically over. The two-party system will be over. With the information that they have on the politicians, the two-party system going to be over. And so a guy like him had to come along to expose the system for what it's doing. They only care about the elite and making sure they could get away with their crimes for as human trafficking and raping and killing of kids. So when you see this debacle last night with the UFC, Dana White and Joe Rogan, they've always been white supremacists. That's not shocking. I expect them to be exactly who they are. It's people that's just getting in tune with things and realizing like, yo, Dana White is a messed up guy. Yeah. He didn't even want to pay John Jones what he wanted to be paid. And he carried the UFC. But when Conor McGregor come along, he gave him everything he wanted. So guys have to fall back and look at the totality of the picture and say, wait, hold up. When I asked you for that kind of money, you told me no. But once Conor McGregor come along, the great white hype, a rapist, like most of them are, he paid him. He made sure. Because that's the thing. They want to make sure that they're going to always be in position of power to win. I know people mad at the entertainers and celebrities not saying about the Carmelo Anthony case and the other cases, but I wonder if we were ever meant to be just entertainers. Because I know we bring more to this earth than we get credit for. Sometimes I wonder, like, do it serves us in our best interest to be entertainers? Because it's a constant effort for people to be famous. I saw Kenny Burns speaking this morning. He was saying about why people so caught up in the AI, not realizing that that's actually the debt of humanity. Yeah, we all love the internet. We love social media and stuff like that. But we do know a life without the internet and social media. Well, your parents didn't have to call you on your cell phone because we didn't have cell phones. So maybe to get back to that, we don't know. But I know as far as advanced technology, they're blocking it for a reason because humans are going to evolve. That's why they're blocking it, because they no longer will be in control. White people don't know a world where they're not in control. You know, I saw a rapper I listened to, I'm a fan of, and he was saying, like, you know, the generational wealth thing is about the parents enabling a certain thing and you drop the ball. It's like you're not realizing that the Rothschilds took over the Federal Reserve Bank in 1895. They print the money. That's who's running that's the shadow government that's running. Then in 1947, they created Israel. Israel is not anywhere. They created something. And then 1948, the CIA come about. A lot of American problems have come from the CIA. They've tried to topple 81 different regimes. So the biggest three-letter agency is the CIA. You know, but people don't realize that. You know, he's just a face. He not running the government. He's just a face, and he's dementia ridden. They go ride the ship till it, because what they want to do is get JD Vance implemented, and then they really gonna take over. Dog eat dog. That's what demons do. They think of demonic things to do. They don't serve a purpose but for evil. And we wondering why we don't have allies. We got to be allies amongst each other first. We got to see each other as humans. You know, because every race derived from a black person. When you go look at ancient history, the ancient history that they hiding, it was only black people. Everybody derived from us. So I don't even understand how the Asians even could be hating black people, but I understand. You want to be closer to white supremacy. And every chance they get, they show y'all. Every chance they get, they show y'all that they're not loving as you would want them to be. So we need to be allies with each other first before we seek allies. Well, you know, we taking back our power. I like to see the boycott. Let's do it permanently, but at the same time, let's treat each other better than we do. We never gonna get it right because we all flawed individuals from the moment we come here to the moment we leave out of here. Flawed individuals. We all hypocrites. We all tell lies. We all done things. But you have to know at some point you don't want to be a compulsive liar, pathological liar. Because it's truly impossible not to do it. We all hypocrites. We all have shortcomings. So I would rather see us be allies with each other first. But we're not bickering back and forth and cutthroating each other and stuff like that behind the almighty dollar. You know, the reason people are not storming different things because we're all programmed to go to work. Well, a person can't afford to take a day off, so you don't have time to be at marches and protests and all this stuff here, because they done got it to where we in survival mode for life. They sell us everything. They sell us everything. But we've been part of the system. So we don't know another system where capitalism doesn't exist. So when you see Elon becoming a trillionaire, and you get on X, and every day you ask me to get verified, and here I'm doing YouTube numbers on there. I'm not even a content creator. But I notice when you got guys like Country Wayne saying they're not really paying nothing, he's like the content king, because they can play with the algorithm, because it'll make sure that whatever you're putting out, it'll reach the masses. They don't like that. If you was being negative and stuff like that, you can reach the masses. I don't think you have to be negative to get to the bag or whatever you're trying to get to. It's just people want the instant gratification. So you have to make a decision who you're going to be. You want to be part of the in crowd? If you're going to be messy, man, you're going to go up the charts. You're going to go up the charts. You're going to be number one for the 4th week in a row like Drake is with the Iceman. That's funny. People say, oh, man, he fell off. And hell, man, it's his 4th week going number one. 4th week. Everybody fell for the smear campaign, didn't realize it didn't work. So good music is good music, But back to what I was saying, if you're going to be negative, you go straight up the charts. All that right-wing, left-wing talk, that's to keep us all divided. As long as we bickering, they have done their job. And voting and all this here in these elections, that's not going to help America get out of this system. It has to be dismantled. It's not helping nobody. We can't create generational wealth for our family because they've been stealing wealth for generations. They print it. The people that print it, they doing what they want with it. And sprinkle down crumbs to the workforce. The same people they exploiting every day. Being used for collateral to get credit from other countries. Now I realize now America's $41 trillion in debt. They love this because slavery started the first form of capitalism. So imagine they thinking, okay, yeah, the slaves got freed, but it said we'll enslave them in the workforce. We'll exploit their labor. A job called for $40 an hour, give them 15. The system has to come to an end. So we all won't be programmed and going against each other and realize it till we see it with our own 2 eyes. So betting on myself like we all should be doing. There's no livable wages. And nothing happens overnight. So if you don't put expectations on something, you can never be disappointed. But in the meantime, figure out what you want to do with your life. You always got to be a follower. Oh, you can be a leader and do things on your own time. Like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube at Shop Talk 84. On X, that's contact_CEO. That's KONTACK_CEO. On Instagram as well, that's contact_CEO. That's KONTACK_CEO. And sign off. Nothing surprised me about these people. I saw what they were saying about Michelle Obama yesterday. And I saw she was doing an interview. What she was saying, like she was kind of feeling sorry for them. And, every time, you have somebody come right behind you and disrespect you. Because people trying to tell y'all, like, this is the truth. I mean, you've been here long enough on earth to see it. It's sad that they disrespect the black woman as they do. But they see us do it in every aspect of life. So other races feel like, why we can't do it? We see y'all do it all the time. We could post Michelle up and down the timeline. But, we got to start respecting our black women ourselves. So when somebody else do something like that, you don't have to be surprised if we have respect for one another as well. But until next week.